hanging out with a former colleague. His name is Fabrice. He's the engineering lead at Property Finder. Maybe he can talk more about himself.
Hi everyone. So I'm Fabrice Kabongo. I'm engineering lead at Property Finder. I manage the website, so B2C website and the mobile apps teams. I've been working there for like 2 years and a half, been in the industry for around six years and a half as a software engineer, backend mostly, also did some front-end stuff, basically a bit of full stack, but mostly backend. And then now for 2 years and a half, almost 2 years, I've been an engineering lead at Property Finder.
Okay, that's a great introduction. So today we'll just be looking into being an engineering lead. So for a start, we'd really like to know what does an engineering lead do, based on your job description and the current role.
Yeah. So engineering lead is basically like a composition of multiple tasks, I would say. So the first one would be because it's engineering, so it's really technical in the sense that you basically plan project, you plan and own the technical implementation of project and features. You make sure that everything is running well, that your software can handle the load, that it's safe, additional stuff. If you're working with an architect, you basically work closely with the architect to make sure that everything that you are building matches with the big plan of the company, architecture of the company we're trying to build. So at one side. The second side is people management. So you typically have 5 to 10 developers that you're managing in a team. In my case, I manage 2 teams, so I have 10 developers in one team and 5 in the other. And then I also work closely with some QA that I don't manage directly, but basically on a day-to-day basis, basically I work in my team. So that brings up the total to around 17 people. That usually quite natural. I usually try to keep on the 10 per person, but yeah. So in that people management side, what you do is you take care of the career. So you, first of all, basic stuff like leaves and when they are sick and appraisal and review one-on-one that you do. For example, with me, I have one-on-one with everyone in my team once every 3 weeks. But then the last part, the next part I would say is kind of mentoring. So I separate mentoring with people management because you don't have to be someone's manager to mentor them. So the role of that is actually like working with them and trying to understand what are their strengths and weaknesses, and then what's exactly the company expects from them, what the company is trying to achieve, and how they can actually help with that. And then you define with them a clear plan of how to get them to the next level of their career. Why I say with them, because if you design the plan by yourself, it's completely useless. They need to buy into the plan. Even better, they need to create the plan themselves, and then you work with them and trying to help them grow and give them opportunities to grow, or making sure to them that they have things that they can do to improve those skills. So that's the first thing. And then the fourth part is, I would say, product. So I work with 2 product managers. So one for the websites that also manage the entire B2C, and then one for mobile particularly. But they handle most of everything product related, but as an engineering manager, engineering lead, you need to know some of the product. You need to understand what's happening, you need to understand your product, you need to understand your users, understand your competitors' offering, so that you can actually be a good help for them. Because if you're too technical, it's going to be really hard for you and them to communicate and exchange ideas. You need to be able to assist them, so you need to understand their words, right? And then I would say miscellaneous. So miscellaneous will be, in our case, being a website, so you need to understand SEO. You need to work with marketing a little bit. You need to work with data team. You need to work with BI. You need to work with finance. You need to work with legal department. So you need to have a bit of general knowledge and certain really high level of common sense. So yeah, those are the kind of stuff that engineering leads needs to know and needs to do.
Okay, that's an in-depth explanation. Quite a huge task to be in. Okay, so from my perspective, I tend to see that some companies, if I look into Google, Facebook, and etc., they tend to also have they kind of maybe split the role. Maybe you define better, because tends to be a software engineering manager, and also there tends to be a technical lead.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like what differentiates these two for in this kind of companies?
Okay, so the first thing I have to say about that is, I think our industry, so I would say information technology industry, we really need to like up our game when it comes to position names, because like there's a lot. It's really not clear to understand what's the difference between certain positions. Like depending on the company you work in, for example, I am a software engineering lead. But in other companies, some people that does exactly what I do can be a tech lead. In other companies, can be an engineering manager. So I would say that depending, you can read articles that separates them. So the typical thing that people will say, especially if you go search for articles on Medium, for example, what you're gonna find that they will tell you that a tech lead basically only handles the technical parts, technical and architectural part of a team. They mentor technically people, they handle the delivery of projects, and then they usually split that with engineering manager. That's where they will add some people management part of it. And they would say that sometimes in a company we can have both tech leads and engineering manager for the same team. No, I have never seen that in place. Probably the same company is doing that. And then you will have engineering manager, and they will tell you some stuff, and then engineering leads, other stuff. So for me, I would just give like quick way of looking at it, right? So I would say, let's go from the CTO going down, right? So depending on the size of the company, you will probably have CTO, and then if it's really small, so you have like CTO or head of engineering, and then you have the developers directly. The company grows a little bit, you have CTO, and then you have engineering managers, or tech leads, or engineering leads, and then you have developers. And then the company grows a bit, you have CTO, then that's where they say head of engineering or engineering manager, or sometimes VP of engineering, and then under them you have tech leads, and then you have developers. So like basically, like depending on the size of the company, you start having a lot of layers. So like probably for me the biggest range of layers would be something like you have a CTO, then you have a VP of something, of the payment, and then you will have under that VP you might have some engineering managers that basically take care, each of them manages leads, tech lead or engineering leads, and then you have developers. So property finder, for example, that would be so CTO, VP of engineering, engineering lead, and then you have developers. So in my case, I'm engineering, so there has to be a CTO and VP of engineering, and then I'm engineering lead, but I lead two teams, completely separate teams. They don't work together. Like they interact as a dependency, but not as one team. But like I manage both of them, but still an engineering lead. So to be honest, that's really the role of like a company. So basically, the CTO and some VPs needs to sit together with the HR department and actually like sort out that denomination for the company. But usually engineering manager and leads will be like the first layers of managers. When you come from developer going up, they will be in that one or two layers of managers. That's it. But it really does depend on the company.
Okay, that's pretty much interesting. So for most part in your role, I believe maybe you started as definitely an individual contributor. Then at what point did you figure out that now it is time to take up the mantle and be an engineering lead so that you take care of other developers too?
Okay, so I wouldn't say my journey has been linear out there. I mean, if you only take my journey as an employee, it has been quite linear, but like I've also done a lot of freelancing, especially when I was still living in South Africa. I've done a lot of freelancing. So the first experience for me of having to manage people wasn't something where I wanted to, but I had to. The example basically is I was a freelancer working for a client, and the spec of the client increased, so we needed more and more people, and the client didn't want to deal with that, so they didn't want to deal with hiring other freelancers. So basically I was the main freelancer, and I had to hire other people and bill the client for the entire bill for all those people. That means that for that client, which is like now one of my mentor, for that client I had to like deliver the product and handle the other developers passing the spec, and doing all the job basically of a lead, right? So architecturing the products, the software the client was also quite technical, so those were also assisting on that. So that was like for me the first experience of doing that, and it was really challenging and it was really hard. But also it was really interesting to actually see that the more people you have, your capacity of delivering on and doing a lot of work increases. So what I mean by that is like as one person you have an impact that you can do, right? And the more if you manage people, that impact increases a lot. So just if you spend more time planning project, for example, so that other people actually code them, now at the end of the day when you start delivering, you can deliver a lot more. And also if you just focus on planning projects and making sure that delivered well, you can start adding developers continuously, and actually impact grows really fast, whereas your load of work doesn't grow that much. And you get to some point where you actually probably not the level of management on the user to grow that, but like the impact you can have just becomes a lot much bigger. And that was the learning I done. And in my main career as an employee, basically continued to grow in my career, became a mid, became a senior, and got to a point where Property Finder, the company was growing, the tech department was growing, we had more and more sides, I would say side projects. We have like the main track of products that we have, and then we had more and more secondary tracks and secondary sources of revenue and stuff that we had to grow, and then there was an opportunity there, and I was questioning like whether I want to do something like that. Also probably because I saw the way I was working as a developer, right? Like the different projects I was working on, the way I was interacting with the team, so that they saw that I would be a good fit for that.
Okay guys, so we got hungry and we had to order food. Before talking about, when you talk with an engineering lead, the conversation gets into detail, okay? So Fabrice, we were talking about your role, how you got your role. How you became an engineering lead in your career.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, after I got the first position as lead, started growing, started working on that project, we delivered quite well, and then started working on other projects, being interested in other stuff in the company, and then at some point there was an opportunity to basically take over the entire website. So because that team was part of the website, so they gave me an opportunity to take over the entire website, which I did, and it went well. The team grew, and also the people in the team grew. Like some became more senior, were added to the team, and then recently, which is like last month, there's another opportunity to also like integrate that team with the mobile team, which is all proposed to me. So I accepted that, and then that's the thing now. But for me, it's like, so I always say that you should work hard and always prepare yourself for that. You never know when an opportunity comes, but you need to be ready for it. So work every day to be ready. Sometimes it's gonna come when you're not ready, but like at least work hard and always be like in advance compared to always be stronger than your current position. That's my saying. Like always be much stronger than your current position, so you're ready for the next move, right? And then also, honestly though, like becoming a lead is not necessarily something that interests everyone. So you can become really much stronger, and grow into your career. You don't have to be a lead necessarily.
Okay. So, this is the second last question. I know you are focused on certain kind of frameworks and programming languages, but I wanted to know what's your take like on the tech space with the new frameworks developed for the front end, back end. Right now there is also the language Golang picking up on microservices. So what's your overall take on these trends?
So, okay, just in general, I would like to say that it's a good software doesn't need to be developed in particular language, right? You can pick anything to build something really, really great. And then you need to start picking technologies that are your needs. So like you pick a technology because either you only have people that know that technology, or because you have a particular problem that the technology is gonna resolve easily. Like picking technology because it's a trend is usually always the wrong answer. Unless you have a problem with hiring, so you want to go for something that's really popular so you can hire a lot of people easily. But what about the current ecosystem? So what interests me is like I really like I would say the React ecosystem. So React, React Native, Preact. I know that there's also a push now into mobile to also start doing a lot of reactive framework and reactive ways of implementing. It's basically like a one direction flow of data. That I think for me, like that's really interesting because that just simplifies the way people think about the software and the way people architect the software and reduces the possibility of bugs and kind of like a paradigm change the way you build things that makes it safer. If you want to learn more about it, like look for like the Facebook presentation of why they built React and why they built Flax also into React. You have React, but like the original started with Flax. It really explains why it's important. So you shouldn't pick React because it's just popular. Pick it because you understand what problem it solves, right? Another thing that's really interesting for me would be like, okay, so PHP and Symfony, like they've been improving their framework, is really getting better. Symfony 5 is coming out soon. I think it's on alpha or beta right now. It should be also really interesting. So PHP isn't dead yet, even though it's becoming less and less popular, but still there, it's not dead. And then you have Golang. So Golang is really interesting because Golang for me, it's kind of like getting a software that's as performant as C or C++, even though C++ is a bit more performant, but like C or C++, but that's easier to code in, right? Like much simpler to code in. And a lot of companies are using it for great stuff. Some companies are using it for the wrong stuff. But for me, it would be like, if you have a company that deals with a lot of data, a lot of complex stuff, a lot of concurrency in the way they build stuff, probably Golang is something to look at. And it's quite trendy right now, has a good community. But it's lacking frameworks. Like for example, if you check PHP and Python, you're gonna find a lot of tools, a lot of libraries already built around it. Like Golang still lacks that. So if you decide to go with Golang, just know that there's a lot of things that you're gonna have to build yourself. But it's still really great. What else really hot these days? Microservices in general. You have a big company, you have a big software, you have a lot of teams. Maybe look at microservices. If you don't match the three things I just said, don't look at microservices. So it's not worth it. Microservices shouldn't be if you build your software, the first version of your software. Let's just say the first year of your software, and you have built it in microservice. You probably have done something wrong. You probably like you following the trend and it's a bad idea. Microservice is there to solve a problem. It actually has a lot of other problems. Having one system that is split in multiple services, multiple individual softwares that depend on each other, and like they need to not only your code. If you do that, your code needs to work, and the other person's code needs to work too. But then now you take that and you have 20 services, so that like a lot of dependencies, a lot of possibilities of failure. Now suddenly you have to care about network latency, you have to care about like hammering the other service with too many requests. There's a lot of things around it does solve a big problem, a couple of problems actually. But it's really just be careful with it. And also when you go to microservice, just make sure your organization can handle it. So a move from monolith to microservice is also a change. Not only a change in code, but also a change in organization. So you just be careful on that. All the great stuff happening now. For me, just serverless in general. The fact that you can build really complex solutions and you don't have to care about where it runs and how it's set up. So just use function as a service. A lot of database as a service everywhere. AWS, Digital Ocean, Google Clouds. All that things that just makes it easy to build a software. We're going more and more into you just have to focus on the core business. So if you have a ticket reservation system, you get to a point where you can outsource so many things to other companies, even RabbitMQ management for the system, Elasticsearch management with AWS, and to the point where the only thing that developers really care about is the algorithm or managing tickets. That's what really matters to you. So that I really like that idea. And you can go from an idea to production really fast, and then you can now later when you grow start changing your architecture and everything. That's really great. Because of these guys started focusing on GIS stuff. Really interesting. Really looking into that, learning a lot more about it. That's really interesting actually. I think that there's a big potential around it that a lot of people don't know about. And just as an engineer, for me, you need to know a lot of technologies, a lot of like I'm an expert in a couple of things, but like I try to know as much about as many things as possible, just so that I can solve problems. Like I know directions to take to solve problems, and when it becomes complex, I can like talk to actual experts in those areas. But at least like just being knowledgeable about all that's really interesting. And then there's a lot of trend going on right now. But for me, this is the method. Something comes up, I wait for 6 months. If it's still there, I learn it.
Yeah.
If it's not there anymore, yeah, it was a phase. I don't have to think about it because there's so many things coming up that you shouldn't just get distracted by that. Like just focus on solving your problems and helping your users, and that's everything that matters.
Okay, nice. So the final question will be more of like a parting shot. You've been involved in hiring software engineers, right? And so this is like when someone considers to be a self-taught, maybe someone didn't study computer science, wants to pursue computer software development as a career, and maybe also the fresh graduates really don't know what when you're hiring, what you're looking out for. Which advice would you give to this kind of guys?
So for both of them, same advice.
Yeah.
Some difference here and there. So basically, to be a good software engineer, for me to hire you, at least in a company I work for right now, Property Finder, we don't hire a junior. Mm-hmm. So it means that just fresh out of university, you don't have a chance to pass the test, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But which means that so you need to be knowledgeable because you're gonna be like companies are going to test your general knowledge of software engineering, so algorithms, data structure, and then just like knowledgeable about like the industry, the different technology out there, the different problems the company having, and then you need to have experience because that has another layer of knowledge. Because like that basic knowledge just gives you toolboxes, so like things you can use to build stuff, right? And then the experience of actually working on projects gives you a knowledge of how to use those things in particular situations, right? And then that thing basically also applies in another thing is that being experienced means that you need to be able to show what you've worked on. So it doesn't necessarily need to be like you worked in a particular company, even though it helps. Just if you can't find a job or you're just out of university, do personal projects. Like if you go on Medium or Google, type 20 ideas for personal projects, you're gonna find a lot of stuff that exists. Just start building them, put them on a GitHub, just build one after the other. Like host them if you want. Actually, like hosting is so cheap right now, you can actually do that. Like host them and then go on Facebook, do some marketing, get I don't know, even get 10 users is fine, but just do something and put it out there. You're gonna learn a lot. It's not just getting hired, right? Yeah. You are actually going to learn a lot of things. If you get to 1,000 of users, tens of thousands of users, if you're lucky, that you're gonna really learn a lot of stuff, and that's really valuable because a company hires you to solve a problem. They don't hire you to hire you. Like they want you to be able to solve the problems that they already have or problems that will come up in the future. So you working on a project like that makes you makes it that you can actually solve those problems, and that's why they hire you. So when big companies, big tech focus on algorithm and data structure, it's because they have problems that require that. And then you have a lot of other companies that are smaller that don't really care about that because they don't have problems that require good knowledge of that, right? Yeah. So depends on that. So actually, when you want to work for a company, try to understand what's the problems. So you should probably ask that in the interview, like what matters for them, like what kind of problem they're trying to solve, and that the kind of knowledge that they need based on that. And just in general for you, like just try to be a lot more knowledgeable. So now, for someone that just came out of university, it's like a lot of things are already being taught to you, and you have to learn a lot of stuff. So that's kind of easy. You really need to focus only on the practical part, like really like working on stuff, building stuff, and but still don't stop learning, right? Like university only teaches you so much. You need to continue learning and continue to like read stuff on internet. Maybe continue university, but to be honest, like internet is full of knowledge. Just try to read documentation of all the tools that you use and this kind of stuff. And then YouTube also is a great platform for that. For someone who is self-taught, it's a bit more challenging because you need to teach yourself first, right? So going on platform like Udacity and other platforms to learn this kind of stuff, that's really important. And then after that, don't stop there. Like keep learning because there's definitely a lot of things that universities are going to teach that you won't know that they teach that. So you need to continue doing research, talk to people that actually have degrees, try to understand what they learn. was important. Talk to people that are in companies to learn that, and then practice. If like a software engineer that is not coding all the time, he's losing his skill. So either you code at work or you code at home. You have to be coding, right? Or actually, sometimes most people actually code at both places.
Yeah.
Get a life though, but like yeah. But you need to be coding, you need to be working. Like in my position as software engineer, for like as lead, I don't get occasion to code that much anymore. Like I really don't code that much anymore at work. What I do is that I code at home. I try some solutions. If we have a problem at work, for example, we discuss about something, I go home and I code that. Just like to try to understand, just like to stay sharp, right? Like it's a skill that you need to I need to keep working on, keep holding. And like but especially I mean for me, I need to make sure I don't forget the skill and I keep getting better. But I'm a lead, right? So I've already coded for like 6 years. So like you need some, but now if you're at the beginning of your career, you need to do that like 4 times more than me, 5 times more than me. You need to code a lot more. Like when I was starting my career, I would code like at night, I would code all the time because I was also because I love that. So I was really curious. I kept on working and trying to improve. So yeah, that would be like that would be the thing. That would be what I was teach you. Like depending on however you get there, knowledgeable and experience that for you to learn and experience for you to show. That was important.
Yeah. So guys, it's all about practice. Learn and grow. Do projects. Yep. So this is the parting shot. We are coming to an end, and that's it. If there is any question that you would really like to know, Fabrice is easily reachable on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So it's Fabrice Kabongo, and also me, I'm easily reachable. So you can reach out, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Even though it's more of a busy guy.
Yeah, but I'll try to get available for friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.